And now to the extended profile of a little-known but very successful property entrepreneur, Sudesh Jhunjhnuwala. Brought up in Kathmandu and Hong Kong in a very business-oriented Indian family, Sudesh today is quietly leading a New Zealand property portfolio to success. Here's Jasmine Meyer with that story.
Sudesh Jhunjhnuwala is the New Zealand boss of an Indian family business empire worth over $100 million. Not that you'd ever know that if you met him. Low profile, low ego, he nonetheless brings an international perspective and generations of business acumen to his company's ventures down under.
Our family has been investing in properties in New Zealand since 1991. And we used to own quite a lot of commercial and industrial properties. All these properties were leased out on long-term basis. So in year 2000, we realized that we had a lot of vacancies coming up, and if somebody wasn't here on site driving the business, the value of our portfolio would have gone down, and we would have had to exit New Zealand.
Charged with revitalising the family company's New Zealand interests, Sudesh has spent the last decade quietly turning a property portfolio on a downward path into a very successful slate of investments.
It was decided amongst us that I should move down here along with my family. I like to call it that I drew the short straw.
Leaving behind their home and life in Hong Kong, Sudesh and family arrived to take on the unknown.
New Zealand was another challenge altogether because, number one, I've never been in a property business. So in Hong Kong, I was doing something else. To come here and to get into property business, and that too a business that was, going down. That was a big challenge. Socially as well, to make new friends, even for children.
After a series of high-profile sales of the group's property portfolio, Sudesh turned his attentions to the hotel business. He acquired existing hotels in Christchurch and Rotorua before this year opening a purpose-built, architecturally designed hotel right on Auckland's Airport Drive, one of the busiest development sites in the city. Sudesh has overseen every aspect.
This project has taken 2 years, and me and my team, we were eating, sleeping, drinking this project. So much so that in the middle of the night, we would have a eureka moment, hey, let's do this. When we started this project, there was no other hotel being built in the area. So obviously, at that time, it made a lot more sense. But now with 2 other hotels coming on, on stream along with us, it's not going to be easy.
Now competing with major international hotel chains on every side, Sudesh's early planning and commitment to finish this hotel to his own highest standards meant it opened for business well in time for the Rugby World Cup.
We wanted to make sure that we are up and running and all the systems are in place. So rather than opening in first week of September and have a running start, we opened in May. I think a private hotel is more, the owners are more emotionally attached to the hotel because it's their baby, so to say. Whereas in a bigger hotel which is, there's no single owner or majority owner, it becomes corporatized. But here, we had a blank piece of paper on which, we could pretty much do whatever we wanted to.
As well as taking care of the smaller details of interior design and exactly what kind of mattress might provide the best sleep, Sudesh has invested in environmentally sustainable measures, like smart air conditioning fueled by energy created by the hotel, all in a bid to reduce this hotel's carbon footprint.
We are looking at long-term sustainability, energy efficiency, and so we are not looking at a 3-year payback, we are looking at a 10-year payback. But still, we've gone ahead and put those things in.
He and his team are big on ambience and atmosphere too.
Very family-based. If a guest walks in the door or anyone walks in the door, it's very like it's a home away from home.
Okay, start.
Sudesh himself combines local knowledge with years of family business experience and know-how forged over 2 generations and many Asian countries. Today the family has businesses in India, Singapore, Vietnam, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos and Hong Kong, where they're headquartered.
Born in Burma, in Rangoon. There were 2-3 streets which are full of Indians. And everyone knew each other, so it was a small, you can say, an India town sort of place, and everyone knew each other. We could, talk, pretty much walk into a lot of people's houses. And
His grandfather had left India in search of better economic prospects and taken a job in Burma's capital long before the military regime took over. His 3 sons built a series of businesses, including textile manufacturing, which they ran as a family company, soon extending well beyond Burma's borders. Sudesh and his 5 siblings grew up watching their dad and their uncles find success, make mistakes, and generally cut their teeth at the higher levels of business. At age 6, Sudesh and family left Rangoon for Kathmandu and later Hong Kong, learning even more about the ways of the world from different points of view.
it's opened up my horizons. I'm no longer blinkered about my thinking, be it religion, politics, or, just people. Because I've lived in such cosmopolitan cities, it's who they are rather than their race or religion. When I've come here, I realized that, to be able to draw on those experiences has been good.
Sudesh hasn't been the only one drawing on his past to make life in New Zealand work. His wife Lakshmi, born in Calcutta and raised in New Delhi, has been blending her own heritage with a very different life in Auckland. Rankavita, or Song of Colour, is a solo exhibition by Laxmi Jhunjhnuwala, held recently at Mairangi Arts Centre on Auckland's North Shore.
Colors are, a part of me, and I try to get away from it, but I can't because they're just in me, and I just use bright colors. And I think they bring, a sense of festivity, what we celebrate, like Holi, Diwali. We wear bright colors in our culture. We use bright clothes. It's like a celebration. And with this exhibition, I think it has become a part of it, because it just, whoever comes here, it's happy, and all those emotions comes with bright colors.
Ambitious in scale and technical achievement, large on colour and concept. It's her first show of this kind and the culmination of years of study and exploration.
When you explore things and work with it, I think the idea sits with you and you work through it, explore, different materials or paints or different things, and then it just generally comes to you. Sometimes, it doesn't work, so you have to move on and keep doing work. That's the main thing. One of the ideas which I work with is that the artist has limited control over the final image. I do, make the work. I pour the paints on these work and have the pigment behind the perspex, but the final image, takes it according to the material. The pigments, as I put it up, it changes, the cracks in the thing, and all those things, they just come on its own, so it's not in my control.
These works are in a range of media, including oil on canvas, thickly applied, paint pigment in its pure form pressed between layers of perspex, and a circular installation of turmeric and flower taking centre stage of the gallery.
The circle has a lot of meaning. When I started it, I thought when you meditate or, you close your eyes, you can see the energy moving, and it moves in circle form, and it's like constantly moving. I was really fascinated by that bit, and I thought if I could put that in my work.
Her work makes a bold statement, not always seen in New Zealand galleries, where understated landscapes often take pride of place. But the Rankavita has been a hit with visitors to this gallery.
Uplifting, they love the colour, and they love the freeness and the experimental kind of nature of it.
I'm well impressed. Straight away when I walked in, I thought, this is absolutely amazing.
I think, yeah, the work's quite mind-blowing, really, the amount of time that it would have taken just to develop the concepts as well as the actual physical work. It's a massive undertaking for somebody, because this is quite a big space as well, to actually, you know, take up the space and have a strong presence in it.
With a hard-won degree in visual arts from AUT under her belt, numerous entries in group shows and now an impressive debut solo exhibition, Laxmi's growing art practice has had another incarnation already.
For me, this hotel is very special, you know, so that's why they were initially doing photographs which they were going to put in each room, but I thought, no, you know, limited edition work has more value, and it'll have that, you know, that special, you know, thing going on.
Her 156 limited edition prints hang on the walls of every room in the hotel and make a striking statement of welcome in its foyer.
Give a few proposals to our team, so it wasn't just me deciding, say, yeah, this goes well. Yes, you know, one of the things, as you've seen with her work, it's very bold. And, you know, being Indians, you are always looking at these bold colors. So initially when we said, hey, we want to put this up, I mean, the reaction was, oops, you know, might be too bold, but I think it's come out well.
Her journey into the world of visual art is something her husband believes couldn't have happened anywhere but New Zealand. And he too has been influenced by her new direction.
I think she has changed me as well, because nowadays whenever we go to a new city, first thing we do is look up where's the art gallery, and we both go and visit the art gallery. And, you know, before we would never dream of doing that. So it's been a good change.
A change that, along with his business interests, will keep him and his family in New Zealand for more years to come.
It's a good place to live in, and yes, we'd like to be called New Zealand citizens now.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show this week on Asia Down Under. Thank you for joining us. Do catch us again on our TVNZ website or on YouTube. See you next week at the same time. This programme was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.